How's it going, guys? We are out at Prado Olympic Shooting Park, and today we're talking about everyone's, well, not everyone's, but most people's favorite guns to talk about right now in the California community, as well as their main
hipster trend.
Yeah, the hipster trend, because anybody who owns a Staccato is a fucking hipster. We have two models today. We have the Staccato P and the Staccato CS. Two models that people love and want all the time. The CS is obviously their concealed carry version. You can conceal any of them, I guess, but this is what they designed for concealed carry. The P is their full-size duty gun. Why you would carry a $4,000 duty gun, I don't know, but it's your money, whatever.
Hey, I know plenty of guys in different departments that are carrying them.
It's ridiculous.
So they can run and gun.
Yeah, we don't have the XC or the C2, two other really popular models. The XC is the same size as the P, mostly, except for it's got a compensator on the end of the actual barrel, and the C2's right in between the P and the CS.
So that would be like a service model. So everybody knows, I'm the normal guy. I don't know a lot about the Staccatos. I've shot them before. I know they cycle real nice. I know they're a 2011. I know they had feeding issues in the past. But I don't really know that much about them. I know there's like 20 fucking different models and stuff. Okay, so 4.5 inch or 5 inch, and then what is this? Do we know barrel lengths here?
Should be like 3.2 or some nonsense like that. We can just check the bags. Let's see.
It doesn't even say.
We should have done this research prior. 3.5.
That's a 3.5.
3.5, yeah. So probably 4.25 or 4.5.
And then their middle one
is the 4 inch,
like
yeah.
your standard service model.
Correct,
4
yeah.
inch. Okay.
So the C2 would be like your Glock 19 comparison. The P would be like your Glock 17 comparison. This would be like a Glock 26 with a longer frame. Kinda. It's tough to compare them because they're so particular. Staccatos don't really have anything that like compares with them other than like other really high-end brands like Nighthawk and the new Stealth Arms Platypus.
Does Atlas make a 2011?
They make all 2011s.
Okay.
Yeah, Atlas makes a bunch of them. There's a bunch of different like high-end models, but they're never anything cheap.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot them today. They're on consignment, so we had a couple guys bring in their Staccatos and they wanted to sell them through us, and we're taking them out just to kind of show you guys what they do, how they work, and if they work. We're gonna test fire them a little bit. We're not gonna shoot the shit out of them because again, they're not our guns.
And we will clean them before they go back on the wall.
Correct.
Just so you know.
Clean them and function check them. So we're gonna check them out, see what our individual feels are. He doesn't know too much about Staccatos, and he's not a huge fan of concealed carrying like manual safety guns, and neither am I. That's why we don't carry 1911s as our concealed carry gun. But they're cool as like a duty option. They're, like I said, a little bit expensive, but they're still a cool option. They shoot
a lot of
really
people
well.
carrying them. Like Raul was saying, the Joe Rogan, Coleon Noir podcast, they're talking about how they carry Staccatos. So here's my opinion on it, right? There's a few things I would like to change about the Staccato if I wanted to set it up the way I want it. When it comes to my personal carry gun, I want it to be exactly how I would like it to be, if I can. Everybody knows I don't like to heavily modify it, so I like a gun that feels comfortable in my hand. Switch to a light, put a light on it, night sights, optic. Those are some things that I would like to do, right? Some issues that I have with them is everybody knows me personally, and we can bitch and debate, and you guys can write comments and I'll write them back. Let's hear it. I don't personally like to carry manual safety firearms on my concealed carry. Now, I've trained with 1911s, I've shot in plenty of 2011s, I've been shooting for 20 plus years. I don't want to have to worry about my thumb coming down on that safety to move it to the off position so I can fire when somebody's bearing down on me, when my heart rate's 150 beats per minute. It's not my preference. I like to use a striker fire gun with no manual safety on it for my concealed carry. The other thing is the Staccatos are super nice, and it's funny because I love fiber optic. A lot of people don't. I like green fiber optic. Personally, I don't shoot red that well. My eye just doesn't pick it up as I've gotten older. It doesn't like those colors. I like the fiber optic, but it's not tritium filled. So I have no night sights on this gun at all. So I'm gonna spend $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 on a gun, and then I'm gonna have to spend another $200 to $300, depending on what their sights are, to change out sights, right? Because they don't come with night sights. They're black on black, which I like, in the back. And fiber optic in the front, which is great for target shooting, comp shooting. If I just want to go take some training classes, that's cool. The other thing that I don't love for my concealed carry is I want to be able to switch the magazine release to the side that I want. Everybody knows I'm small and I have tiny hands. People can talk shit on that too. I don't usually drop my mag with my thumb. My hand is not big enough to do it without cocking the gun into a weird position to be able to drop it. I like to have that gun in that same position. I can move my index finger out, drop the mag, and insert a new mag. It's easier for me personally. That's not an option on these that I see here. You said you might be able to do it. they're not even the same configuration.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if you change out frames or grip modules or whatever on the Staccatos. If you could, I would like to be able to modify that. Those are my two big things on them. Have I carried a 1911? Yeah. I just have to be very cognizant of if there's a situation to roll my hand off that safety or roll my thumb onto that safety to put it in the off position. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm sure they shoot like a fucking dream. They're all hand lapped. Like they're really nice guns.
They're quality guns, that's for sure.
It's just how we like them compared to other things. It's funny because you guys called them a FUD in the last video. Well, not you guys, one person in particular. Now it's still going. I'm still calling them a FUD, but it's weird because we were talking before the shoot, and I'm actually kind of more of the FUD because when you've been shooting for so long or you've been in this industry for a long time, nothing really excites you. Hopefully these will excite me. Hopefully I'll like the way that they cycle for it to be worth $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 versus a $500 Glock or Shield Plus like we shot that felt incredible in our hands. So just want to have an open mind, shoot them, talk to you guys about them, see if it's worth it for you guys, and then we can kind of go from there. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and some of you probably aren't going to like it, so I'll probably get plenty of hate on this, on our $6,000 Atlases that people have to have. Maybe that's a different video of me talking about that, but
yeah, we'll see if we can borrow some from Covert, and we'll see if we can.
I'm just on it. We're just usually honest about this shit, whether you guys like it or don't. At least you're getting a truthful opinion from us. So, where do we want to go from here?
Well, let's shoot the CS since we're both probably not going to like it, since it's just
What's that one?
The small one, CS.
Oh, gotcha.
We're shooting steel, and Justin is shooting paper.
Just in case I hit the steel or not. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Wait. A little bit. Give me a moment. Good to go.
All right. For all you Wilson Combat fans. That's how I feel about that stupid. What? Never drop a slide on an empty barrel and empty mag well. Degenerates. Ugh.
How is it?
It's a big argument. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. How is it? It looked a little snappy in your hand, but maybe it's because you don't know how to purchase a gun.
Yeah, maybe it's because I don't know how to shoot anything at all. It's not a bad gun. It shoots fine. It cycles well. It doesn't feel like absolute dog shit.
Well, it shouldn't.
No.
Does it feel smoother than other guns of that size?
No, it's not. It's not so advanced and awesome and amazing that I think it's worth the price you pay for it. I think that a Glock or even a Springfield that's compact, you could modify to make him a super comfortable shooting gun. And I think they're very comfortable shooting guns out of the box. I think this is a comfortable shooting gun. I just don't think it's worth the price point. Is the best way to put it. It's a very comfortable gun. It shoots very well. I just don't think it's worth the money that you spend.
Okay, here's a question that we haven't rehearsed or talked about. What would make it worth the money?
I really don't know. I expect a $3,000 gun I'd expect it to shoot its fucking self at that point. You know,
I know.
It's a lot of money for a handgun. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. I'm just not impressed. I'm not floored by the performance of the firearm. Maybe if I shot, 5,000 rounds through it, sure, I'd probably have a different opinion because I was shooting it so regularly, but I don't think it's worth the price for the particular concealed carry platform. I think my opinion will differ on the full-size gun, but I don't think it's going to change on the concealed carry.
All right, let's see. See if I can hit anything. Works out good for my tiny little hands. I barely can get it. I never really shot it in rapid succession like that. Multiple shots, same target. Those aren't like hammered hairs, but it's not that fast, but it did stay on target really nice.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a good.
And we're close. We're not far away, right? But I don't know how. I don't know how far you're really gonna be. What is this? About 11 yards, right? So what's the rule in California? 21 feet?
Roughly, yeah.
Like, I feel confident with that gun that I could put multiple rounds into a body quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe more confident than with my Glock or with my other one. Maybe it's because of the weight. Maybe it's because it's just so smooth in how it cycles.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are some things I would change on it, but when we were shooting it from 30 yards, I was less impressed.
Yeah.
Here, in a real concealed carry situation where it's super close.
Yeah, comparable distance for a CCW.
Whack, 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 whack. Like, it doesn't really move. So going into this video, I know they're great guns, but I wasn't gonna like jump up and down because I think they're super cool. But that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And getting the capacity. So the big thing for me on the 2011 platform is round count. Right? Everybody knows I love 1911s, but
doesn't matter too much for California, but for people who actually can get the mags right, it's nice to have the, what is it, 16 rounds? Whatever the hell it is. Yeah, 16.
It's a good round count in
chamber.
a gun that you're going to be able to keep on target.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're good looking, right? They have nice crown barrels. It looks like they have steel guide rods. That one has a flat trigger on it, which I like. You know, so I'm actually more positive on it now than you were going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
It's just kind of feels like a gun to me. It's not. They're comfortable. They're a very good gun. It's a very comfortable shooting gun, but I don't think that particular platform is the one that I would go with if I was going to buy a Staccato.
Oh,
that particular one. I think I'd probably go with like a C2 or the new C they just came out with, which I think is a 4-inch. I'd probably go with one of those, a little bit bigger, you know, a little more comfortable for my hands, preferably. But
give me 5 rounds real quick.
Yeah.
While you're talking, please. Yeah, and see, we don't have the whole lineup. We have a good buddy of ours at Site 6 Armory over in Lake Havasu. They're a Staccato dealer, Jesse and Christian, and they have a ton of them over there. It's just really hard for us to bring them in because they're not on roster. So it makes it kind of tough. I just want to try something out. I mean, it was off, but that's probably a body size target that quick. I just wanted to see what it was like.
I'll try that rapid succession and see if I can.
I'm sure you'll stay on target a little better than me. I felt like my left hand wasn't. I didn't purchase the way I should have. See, you're low on that. Yeah. That was low consistently in the same spot each time.
I also just might be a shitty shot. That's possible.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You got him in the dick for sure.
That's what I was aiming for.
Whatever.
So
yeah, it works. Okay, so that's the compact one. I'm more impressed than what I thought I was going to be as far as staying on target, comfortability. You have to use plates on any of these.
Yeah.
So none of them are a direct mount for your optic. So that's something that's a little different also. When you do a plate on this, do you keep a rear sight? Because I noticed this plate goes all the way.
I believe some allow you to keep it, like some CH Precisions give you the option, but I believe most you lose the rear sight.
Okay, which I don't love either, and I have to change that front sight.
But yeah, they do make plates that have that rear sight for you.
You know, I guess if you're used to carrying,
it's kind of like the M18. The M18 has a plate on it that you lose the rear sight when you take the optic off, but they make plates that have a rear sight. Integrated into it.
I guess I'll say this: if you're going to carry that and you're used to carrying a manual safety gun, and you carry those all the time, I know Miller would argue this with us. You're going to increase round count, but versus a 45 carrying a true 1911, your stopping power is going to be a little bit different. Now, I know a lot of people argue that.
God.
The plus piece, that's a whole different video of people arguing back and forth. Dude, when you look at ballistic, it's really weird, but I'm sad to say like 40 gives you good cavitation and velocity.
Yeah, because it's a 10 mil short. Of course it does.
Exactly, but nobody likes to shoot it. Anyway, we're getting way off track here. We're getting way off track, but I'm more impressed than I thought I was going to be with that little shorty on a concealed one. Yeah, let's go to...
Let's try the full size. We'll see how we like it. Obviously, it's going to be a much bigger platform, so it should be a little bit easier to shoot. Keyword should be, if I can actually hit some shit with it.
Good luck.
It's unlikely, but we'll try. Let's see. It's a considerably more enjoyable shooting experience.
It's very formal of you.
It just is. It's just, I think it shoots better. Obviously, it's a much larger firearm. That, money-wise, right, makes sense to me when you're talking about the actual price of the firearm. That makes sense.
For what?
For
what use?
Duty. Throw in a holster like this, you'd be running and gunning all day.
Because that's what you do in your...
My spare time. Run and gun, that's all I do.
It's cool. No, it's cool. I like it.
Try it.
Wow, it's considerably heavier.
Yeah.
It's almost too easy. It just doesn't move.
That's the whole point of a $3,000 gun, is to make it too easy.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I can feel the reciprocation of the slide. I don't have a lot of muzzle rise on it. Like, the grip feels comfortable, even though it's much larger than I would normally choose for a grip. We didn't do any mag changes, so the mag well seems very nice. It's a nice gun.
Yeah.
It's a nice gun.
Yeah, I don't really have many points of contention with the P or the XC series. I think they're very good shooting firearms, to be entirely honest.
It's fun to shoot because you're probably going to shoot it well.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's what makes it like super fun to shoot.
Staccato is in anybody's hand.
Yeah, if you don't shoot it well, then you got to work on your shooting. But I mean, it's...
Try a little bit of rapid succession, see if you can get some...
Probably not. You're just trying to get me embarrassed.
A little bit.
Since they called you a FUD, you're trying to, you know,
yeah,
for me to embarrass myself?
Pretty much. Oh, that was neat.
Those aren't ham repairs, and I have my standard shoulder flinch that I do when I'm not shooting a lot. I kind of roll into it sometimes.
I just don't, I mean, it's so easy. It's so worth it for me. Like, I'm so shitty at shooting, I may as well own a $3,000 gun, you know?
I don't know, I'm up in the air. Let me see this one. Is it loaded?
Yeah, it should be, hold on.
This is the X5 Legion?
No, it's just the TXG frame.
The TXG frame, so this is the tungsten frame on the M18?
The Franklin. So yes, essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you shoot those back to back and you shoot yours?
Yeah.
And you shoot those back to back. Yeah, the Staccato feels like it is a $3,000 gun.
Yeah.
And that's probably a $1,000 gun.
Yeah.
The way it cycles, the cycle rate on that is much faster.
The trigger itself, obviously, that's one thing that people don't really understand too when you're buying the Staccato platform, is you really got to change kind of the way you shoot and how your trigger finger interacts with your trigger, because now you're shooting a 1911 trigger, and you can never beat a 1911 trigger.
Yeah.
They're the best triggers that have ever been invented. They're so simple, so sturdy, and so easy to shoot without having jerks or flinches, because they really only go straight back, which is nice. You really have very little input side to side on that trigger if you're shooting them well. That's why I think the 1911 platform is such a good platform. Like, I still like Glocks.
That's very true. We didn't even bring up the trigger.
Yeah,
that's
so
a great point, actually.
I still like Glocks for the day-to-day carry, just because they're so dumb simple, right? They're so user-friendly that it makes it worth it.
Well, I worry less in that situation on malfunctions or things like that. For me, it's like the AK. If you want something you can drop in the mud that's always going to cycle, sure, it may not be as accurate as the others, but you're going to put rounds down range when somebody's closing on you. You don't really need accuracy at 21 feet, right? You're going to hit the target. going towards the more reliable gun is nice. You told me that with these new mags, they have less feeding issues, right?
Yes.
So the Staccatos, back in the day when they first came out, they were having some feeding issues.
Yeah,
it was a race gun.
When they were STI, they had some issues.
Yes.
With their feed lips of their magazines, but they've since fixed that issue.
Okay.
And then originally when they came out, like I have a couple buddies that used to work for LAPD that were there, 20 plus years ago. When they were first testing these, their cyclic rate was so slow that they had a hard time like keeping up with a shooter for a long time because their slides were just so fucking slow. And their XL is an inherently slow reciprocating firearm because it's a 5.5 inch barrel, or 5.5 inch slide reciprocating back and forth, right? So it's a huge gun. And they've since fixed that. They just made them a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, a little bit easier to shoot.
I mean, we know tons of cops that are carrying them.
Yeah.
So they have to have fixed. They have to qual with them. They put their life on the line more than any of us that are out here at the range just training and stuff like that.
As a point to talk about, I mean, cops aren't inherently the best shooters, so like, it makes sense why they carry them.
But it's got to work.
Yeah.
It's got to work. That was to my point. Is it has to work, and any advantage they can get to put them more on target, I guess.
The only downside of running like a 1911/2011 platform is they do take a little bit more maintenance than like a Glock does, right? Like you do have to actively maintain them or clean them and make sure they're well oiled because they do hate. It's a 1911 platform. 1911s need to be taken care of. What are your final thoughts on the Staccato?
I like them. Like for something like this larger size, this is odd. This is going against the fucking grain for me. Like if I'm gonna spend $3,000 on a gun personally, I'm not spending it on this gun. Because for me, at this point in my life, I have the 34s, I have the long slides, I have the 5-inch 1911s. There's only so many guns that I'm gonna go out and train with. Most of the guns I buy now are guns that I would be okay carrying. And that's just me personally. Like if I was going to carry a manual safety gun, and it only for me revolves around manual safety. If I was going to carry a manual safety gun, would that be worth $3,000 for me? Yes, it would. It shot that nice for me. I know I can keep that on target. The slide reciprocation doesn't take me off of target and things like that. I'd be more inclined to buy a carry piece than I would a cool guy comp shooter piece, because that's just not me. That's just not what I do personally.
Yeah.
I have to say they turned me around a little bit. I always knew they were good guns. I always knew they were smooth. I always knew they had really nice light triggers. But after comparing them to something else, yeah, I'd rather shoot that. Is it worth $3,000? It's up to your financial situation, and if you feel like that $3,000 is money well spent. If it's a family heirloom thing, or you're gonna have it for a long time, you'll never get rid of it, $3,000 is not that big of a deal. That's like 3 different guns, right? So if you really like them and you can get your hands on them now, in California they're off roster, so that gun's gonna cost you
fucking like
$6,000.
Yeah.
$5,000 to $6,000 on that one for that. Now, at that price point,
not so much.
I don't know.
I think an Atlas would be more worth it.
If they did a loaded chamber indicator model with a magazine disconnect and sold it for $3,000, I think we'd sell out of them every single day.
It's highly unlikely they'll probably never do it.
Yeah, but that's my opinion. I would go towards this. They're great. They both shoot incredibly. So they did change my mind. What about you?
I've liked Staccatos going into it. I'm actually surprised that I don't like the CS, because I was hoping that it would be a better shooting gun for me personally.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew I was going to love the P. I forgot that we didn't have the XC, which bums me out, because the XC is significantly different when it comes to the shooting of the firearm, because it's compensated, right? So it's a completely different ballgame. So now you're arguing compensated handgun versus non-compensated handgun, which is a tough argument because it's always going to be better when it's compensated.
Well, when we get one in, we'll have to.
Yeah, we'll bring it out, we'll test it out, show you guys what it's what.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of our take on Staccatos. We have these in store. I think they're coming out either this week or the following week. They'll obviously be cleaned and taken care of.
They probably only have the amount of rounds we put through today, so you're talking probably max 50 rounds.
Tops.
50 to 100 rounds through them, so they are not used.
And they shoot well.
Very well. Yeah,
so,
I mean, obviously it's these ones.
Yeah, come in and check them out. And yeah, let us know what you think about Staccatos. Let us know if you think there's better 2011 platforms, and if we should try other stuff. I'm going to try to contact, he'll probably hit Raul about it too, hit up Covert and see if we can try some Atlases, maybe some Nighthawks.
Prodigy.
Some of the Prodigies. The Prodigies that'd be a good gun worth it. Like even like the Stealth, the Platypus, right there. It's like the $1,500 to $1,900 range. You know, it's a good gun. So yeah, comment. Let us know what you think about it. And we can't see you until next time, dudes.